Good afternoon, class 11th. Welcome after the break which you have got, and we are having a class almost after a month. So let us again quickly start up with another alcoholic fermentational product. We have already been discussing about the alcoholic beverages. The next beverage which we are going to discuss is about beer. So as you all know that beer is an alcoholic beverage, of course, and it is made from malt, corn, rice and hops. Hops are a type of flowers. So it is an undistilled alcoholic beverage having less amount of alcohol. The alcoholic content lies in between 2% to 8% by volume, and like other fermentational product, here also the fermentation of barley or other cereals, as mentioned earlier, are being utilized by fermentational is being done by Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Here you need to remember the spelling. Okay, now let us discuss about the steps involved. The first step is malting. In malting, what is being done, the barley or another whatever you are taking is being dried and cleaned and soaked in water for around 2 days, and then the excess of water is removed, and then it is incubated for around 4 to 6 days. Before I two words here I would like to discuss with you. One is incubation and another is inoculation. Inoculation, as I have already discussed with you, the curd making, we are inoculating the bacterial strain into the substrate, that was the milk. And then incubation means we are keeping the substrate undisturbed for certain time. So here again I am using the same words. In malting, that is, the excess water is removed, and then the whole barley soaked in water is incubated for germination for around 4 to 6 days. The process of germination forms the enzyme, again amylase is formed, and the same process undergoes here also, and it fermentation starts. Now the next step is mashing. As the name says, the powdered malt is mixed with hot water, which is around 55 to 65 degree centigrade. The mashing separates the soluble material with the unsoluble and waste products from that process, from that content. The maltose, dextrin and glucose and proteins are broken down by proteases and produce peptones, peptides and amino acids. So now they are in more simpler forms. The end product of mashing results in a formation of beer wort, which we call as beer wort. Understand the spelling, BEERWORT, beer wort. Now the next step is fermentation. Here again fermentation for a longer duration of time is being done. Now it has been inoculated. We are inoculating, see I am using the word, with yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, in open or closed fermenters. We will be discussing about fermenters also in the subsequent chapter. And it is carried out at a temperature of around 20 to 28 degrees centigrade, and around 5 to 10 days or maybe more depending on the brands they are being fermented. And after the fermentation is being complete, the next step comes is the maturation. Maturation is that the fermented fluid which we have got is being stored in tanks, and a temperature is maintained which is a lower degree, that is maybe 0 to 5 degree or 0 to 3 degree centigrade, and a storage period may depend on the brand, again I would say, and it may roughly range from few weeks to a few months also. Then again it is the matured beer after this is chilled proofed and removed from the residual proteins and everything, and then the final thing is being done is the carbonation, that is adding of the tingling effect. To give it a tingling effect, the carbon dioxide is being injected, and the bottle is canned and sent to the market. So this is all about beer. Hope you understand. Just understand the steps: malting, mashing, fermentation, maturation and carbonation. This comes in a long type question, and you need to write down and explain each and every point as I have told you. Okay, so the next and the last product which we need to discuss here is the cheese. I hope all of you are very much liking that, like has a special liking for cheese, and you must be loving cheese in various forms, maybe mozzarella as in pizza, or some kind of cheese slices in your sandwiches. So today we will discuss how it is actually being produced. You all know that it's a dairy product and it is derived from milk, and various flavors and textures are being added, and the texture may depend on the type of substrate which we are using, whether we are using the fat from the milk of cows, buffaloes, goats, or sheep. So it is one of the most important dairy products. And again, here also, first of all, what we do, the casein changes to curd by the acid of Streptococcus. Okay, then a certain enzyme, that is renin, which is obtained from the lining of the stomach of calf, is being added. The acid curd is separated from the whey. Whey, you remember when we were discussing about curd, we discussed about whey. Then the processed cheese is being made. The curd is basically unripe cheese. When the curd is allowed to ripe for a certain longer duration of time, it forms cheese. It becomes ripened and forms cheese, and which is sold as cream cheese or cottage cheese. Again, the ripened cheese is prepared by washing milk curd and pressing it and cutting it in desired shapes. You must have seen so many shapes. Some are triangular, some are square blocks, some are slices. They may be salted or otherwise like that only. And various flavoring agents can also be used, and various time schedules are used so that fermentation is being done properly. And then they are being processed and um, sent into the market. See, two types of cheese I have kept over here. The first one, the red one, is the Gouda cheese. You must have heard about it. And the second one is the mozzarella cheese, which you generally eat. Then there are two types of cheese basically. The one is the hard cheese, which is produced by inoculation of the bacteria. Bacteria is actually allowed to grow into the cheese for several months, so it becomes harder, a hard kind of cheese. And the second kind of cheese is a soft cheese, in which the bacteria or the yeast is just rubbed on the outer surface, and it is not allowed to grow inside for longer duration of time. So the protein casein is being digested by the bacteria. So when protein is digested for a longer period, like in case of hard cheese, they are harder in texture. But when the protein is digested by the bacteria only at the surface level, and only less amount of protein is being digested, the texture or the softness is there in the cheese, and it is called as a soft cheese. One more important thing I would like to tell you is about the Roquefort. Roquefort is the blue cheese, which is made by adding the spores of penicillium in the curd. It is a special kind of cheese. It is blue in color and is special spores of penicillium. It's a very good question for 1 mark that this is being done. So cheese is also important. We have covered cheese. I hope you understand this. It's the same process. Cottage cheese is prepared. Cottage cheese, I've already told you about cottage cheese. The same is being inoculated for a longer period of time, ripened and inoculated by the bacteria, and give rise to different flavored cheese and cut into different shapes and marketed. It's an easy task for you, because you have been studying about various biotechnologically created products till now. Okay, so after this, the next topic, and one of the most important topic here, is about the quality control. You have studied about wine making, all the alcoholic beverages. You have studied about curd making, cheese making, bread making. Whatever you have studied, there has to be certain quality assurance by the producers. If you are having certain, see, if there is a brand Britannia, there may be a brand Amul. If you are relying on a certain brand, because you are assured that the quality of those products will be good enough for your consumption and for the consumption of your family. So what happens here, the quality is being controlled. So basically, what is quality control? Quality control is a process in which there is an assurance that a certain level of quality is being maintained in a product or a service. So when we are talking about a biotechnologically lab, we will be discussing about the level of quality of the product which is being maintained